Hello everyone, I'm Nikhila Duripala and my teammates are Mr. Shashikant and Mr. Adun. We are going to present on the paper Involution, inverting the inherence of the convolution for the visual recognition. So on a very high level, this paper explains how the researchers have tried to replace the old convolution operations in the CNN by this new thing called as involution. So the presentation subsections include the introduction, sketch of the convolution, design of the involution, implementation details, experiments, and conclusion. So let's start with the introduction. So we all know in these days there is a lots of advances in the neural network architectures, but the convolution remains the building mainstay for the deep neural networks. So this classical image filtering methodologies has two main properties. One is the spatial agnostic and the next is the channel specific. So the spatial extent, the property guarantees the efficiency of the convolution kernels by reusing them among the different locations and pursuing the translation equivalence. And the channel domain, it's a spectrum of the convolution kernels and it is responsible for collecting diverse information encoded in the different channels. So these two help in enhancing the efficiency and interpreting the translation equivalence, but it deprives the convolution kernel to adapt to diverse visual patterns with respect to different spatial positions. So this was the major limitation. So, in order to conquer this limitation, a novel atomic operation for the deep neural networks by inverting the aforementioned design principles of the convolution, which is coined as involution. So, here, what is an involution? Involution is nothing but it acts as a bridge between the convolution and the self attention in the design, and it is more effective and efficient than the convolution, and it is very much simpler compared to the self attention. So the authors in this paper have introduced or proposed the following things. So they have rethought the inherent properties of the convolution associated with the spatial and the channel scope. So this motivated them to advocate for other potential operations embodied with discrimination capabilities and expressiveness for the visual recognition as an alternative, breaking through the existing inductive biases of the convolution. The next is the bridge between the emerging philosophy of incorporating self-attention into the learning procedure of the visual representation. Here, they have unified the view of the self-attention and the convolution through the lens of our involution. And the third thing is the involution powered architectures work universally well across a wide array of vision tasks. This includes the image classification, the object detection, instant segmentation, semantic segmentation, and many others, which offer significantly better performance than the convolution based counterparts. So let's begin with the sketch of the convolution. Here the input feature maps x belongs to R. Here this h is the height, w is the width, and the ci it enumerates the input channels. Next, the coherent of C naught, it's the convolution filters with the fixed kernel size of k cross k is denoted as f belongs to R. Here this k, it goes up to 1 to up to the C naught, which contains this Ci. It is nothing but the convolution kernels. This executes the multiple add-on operations on the input feature in a sliding window manner to yield the output feature, which is given here. So this would be the output feature which we would have got it. Here, this delta k, this belongs to z square. It is a set of the offsets in the neighborhood considering the convolution conducted on the center pixels. So after this, the convolution operation becomes, this is the final equation. Here, the first dimension is eliminated from Fk in order to form Gk by making an assumption that the number of output channels is equal to the input ones. Here, the Gk is specific to kth feature. slice from the view of the channel and shared among the spatial locations within the slice. So this is the sketch of the convolution. Next, going to the design of an involution, my teammate Shashikant would be continuing. Thank you.
Next, we will go through design of involution and implementation of the involution. The involution kernels are devised to embrace transforms with inverse characteristics in the spatial and channel domain Hij to G that belongs to R k cross k, where G is equal to 1, 2, 3, so on to G. And this is specially tailored for pixel Xij located at the corresponding coordinate Ij but shared over the channels. The output feature map of involution is derived by this expression Yijk. We are going to further simplify and explain this expression in the next slide. The shape of the involution kernels H depends on that of the input feature map X. Hij is equal to phi x psi ij. The kernel generation function is psi, and psi ij indexes the set of pixels Hij that is conditioned on. Now let's go through the pseudocode of involution that is written in PyTorch-like style. Here, initially it performs the average pool, and then the reduce is obtained by performing convolution con2d. Span is also obtained by using the convolution, and unfold operation happens. This is nothing but the initialization block. In the forward block, the unfold is obtained and unfolded view is obtained. After this one, the kernel is generated using the reduce and span functions. And the unsqueeze operation is performed so as to make sure the dimensions are matching with the number of channels that are there in the pixel. And the output is obtained by multiplying the kernel with the unfolded, and then that is summed up, which is nothing but the reduce operation, and this gives the output. Now let's go through the implementation details. The implementation details are represented pictorially, that is shown in the slide. The schematic illustration of a proposed involution is represented here. The involution kernel Hij of the dimensions k cross 1 is yielded from the function psi condition on a single pixel at ij, followed by channel to space rearrangement. And the multiply add operation of involution is decomposed into two steps, with cross indicating multiplication broadcast across C channels, and plus indicating summation aggregated within the k cross k spatial neighborhood. Now let's dig deeper and understand what this exactly means. Here we have on the left hand side a block. This can be feature map in any layer of the convet, and this is represented by X. And there is a single pixel that we are considering here for our explanation, and that is coded as red. The same pixel is represented here. It has k square channels. The dimension is 1 cross 1 because it is a single pixel, and the overall dimension of this block is 1 cross 1 cross k square, and this is fed into a phi. And the output of the phi is nothing but the H. H is nothing but the kernel that we are going to use in subsequent operations. The size of the kernel is k cross 1. Basically, the dimensions of the kernel are k cross 1. It is to be noted, and it can be observed that the dimensions, overall dimensions, are matching. The pixel overall dimension is k square, and the kernel overall dimension is k square. Now this kernel is used to multiply all of the pixels on each of the channels, and this generates k cross C block. And finally, the add operation is performed on this block, and this reduces this entire block into 1 cross 1 cross C. And this operation happens for each of the pixel in this block, and this generates this output. This is how the involution operation works, and basically it has two major operations: the cross, which is nothing but converting and generating a kernel from the given pixel, and then the add operation, which is nothing but reduces all the operations into a single channel. So previously in the PyTorch style code, we have seen a product and an add operation. This can be thought of as a dot product. Now, if you think about it, the dot product has parallels in attention, self-attention, and it appears as per the authors from the paper that the involution operation is equivalent to self-attention in some respect. So, from the self-attention, if we discard the keys, then it is equivalent to this involution operation. So, what are the advantages of using this involution operation? It appears that the involution operation also captures the positional encodings of the image, and this helps with capturing the rich semantic information from the image. And this helps with improving the accuracy in classification tasks as well as other associated tasks such as semantic segmentation and others. The next details will be presented by Mr. Adhan.
Hi, I'm Adun Talekara. My teammates talked about the design and implementation details of the involution and RedNet architecture, which the authors have described in the paper. Now let's have a look on the experiments they have done on different computer vision techniques like image classification, object detection, instance, and semantic segmentation, etc. So in the screen you can see on the left hand side you can see the image classification results of RedNet compared to the other architectures like RedNet, LRNet, and etc. They took the variants of these architectures and profiled on ImageNet's validation dataset. In all these variants, we can see that the proposed RedNet architecture was able to outperform all the other architecture they were used to compare. Even though they have a higher accuracy, the complexity or the parameters they used, which is written in terms of millions in the table, it is much lesser than these architectures in almost all the variants. Okay, coming to the right hand side, we can see the two graphs which is plotted in terms of accuracy and complexity, and accuracy versus parameters. You can see that RedNet architecture is marked in the red color. We can see that with a lesser complexity or with a lesser number of parameters, they were outperforming all the other architectures in terms of accuracy. Moving to the next slide, we can see the experiment results on object detection and instance segmentation. Here they used a COCO detection and segmentation dataset for the performance comparison. They created two RedNet architectures, with one with a convolution neck and the other with a involution neck, and they compared with the ResNet architecture. As in the previous result, they were able to outperform the ResNet architecture in object detection also. At the same time, their own architecture with a convolution layer were outperformed by the involution neck architecture. Moving forward, we can see that their results on semantic segmentation. Here also they used involution and convolution neck RedNet architectures. Here also we can see that the RedNet architecture could outperform ResNet architecture without even involution technique. The numbers written in green shows the improvements in the accuracy. From the table, it's also evident that the RedNet 50 with the involution neck can perform well than RedNet 50 with the convolution neck. And The table below is the performance comparison on cityscape segmentation based on ARPANET. The efficiency of ARPANET is greatly boosted by the RedNet backbone, showing competitive performance to Axial DeepLab XL with only 32.6% parameter counts and 75.7% computational cost. From these observations, we can conclude that the involution technique and RedNet architecture performs well with a cheaper computational cost. So we can say that involution is an effective and efficient operator for visual representation learning and other computation techniques. Also, this involution technique and the RedNet architecture they proposed uh, delivers an enhanced performance at the reduced cost compared to convolution based counterparts and the self attention based models. So that's about the paper, and thank you for listening.